Hey, good morning, everyone. We've done this once before, and it's a time for us to do this again. Hopefully, it'll be the last time we need to participate in Yizkor together in this way. Although it was very meaningful as we did it last time, and I hope that everyone who is on board with us this morning can find these words to be an experience together, to be moving and supportive for one another. Yesterday, and actually we'll read these words in a little bit as we have a group reading of Megillat Ruth. Megillat Ruth is a story that's different than most others in the way it's structured in the Tanakh, because most stories begin with a birth and then a growth, and then there's a passing that might happen towards the end of a story. Megillat Ruth starts with people passing away. However, we are to assess the three individuals who are no longer. By the time you finish the first few psukim of Megillat Ruth, people who are loved ones are gone. And so then what? So then what happens? Do you have a book or not? Is there a story or not? And Megillat Ruth contends, and I think it shares with us a very powerful message, that there is life, there's life after death. There's life that's lived after the loss of people that were our dearest to us. And that life is one that is rich because we fill it with loving care for each other. For a Ruth to Naomi and a Naomi to Ruth, and Boaz to one another, who's also farther along past his own earlier losses. That is the story that the Megillat Ruth really tells us, what it means to experience and share a life of meaning that is that yet can be lived, and actually with the memory of the people that matter most to us, who are no longer with us. So that's what we do this morning. I think I always contend that Yizkor in each festival carries its own character. I think that's one of the elements of the character of this Yizkor. And I hope that we can feel that the lives that we live, especially in these really complicated times, are ones which carry the memories and also carry that power that I commit myself to such things together. We wanted to just take a moment to especially take note of those who have passed over these past weeks since our last Yizkor. Some of them have passed as a result of the COVID virus, and their family members to our membership. Most recently, Lisa Gilbert lost her father. A few weeks back, Gerson Smith suffered the loss of his father, and Kara Wagner around Pesach time tragically lost both her father and then a week later her mother, all due to this terrible machala. And in addition, we all grieve together with the Greenstein family, who are no longer in our community but are still close to so many of us, on the tragic passing of Idan Greenstein. We'll keep them all in mind and in our hearts as recite Yizkor this morning. Mark is going to be leading us, and Mark's going to actually start us off with a nigun for Hashem Ma'adam. Adina, you're going to post for us the words of that we'll be working through together. Thank you. So, Adina, it's the first word. That's fine, and Mark's going to just lead us in the Hebrew of some of those opening lines, and then we'll recite together these lines in English. So, Mark, b'vakasha.
Adonai Ma'adam V'teinayu Ben Enosh V'techashvehu Adam La'evel Na'ama Yamav Getzel Oeh Baboker Yatzif B'chalav La'erev Yimol Eliyavev Imdot Yameinu Genoda Venavi Levav Kochma Shemorta Urei Yashar Ki Achari Dei Shalom Ach Elohim Yiften Nafshi Miyad She'ok Yikacheini Selah Kala Shayri Ulevavi Tzur Levavi Vechelki Elohim Le'olam Ve'yashav ve'afar Ala Eretz Keshaya Ve'ruach tashuv Elai Elohim Asher etana.
So I invite you to go back to the first one if you could, Adina. We'll recite these words responsively in the English. Mark, if you could stay on board with us, and you'll be the responsive voice that I hear. And then first in the English and then the Hebrew that follows. O Lord, what is man that you should notice him? What is mortal man that you should consider him? Man
is like a breath, his days are like a passing shadow.
He flourishes and grows in the morning. He fades and withers in the evening.
So teach us to number our days, that we may get a heart of wisdom.
Mark the innocent, look upon the upright, that there is a future for the man of peace.
Surely God will free me from the grave. You will receive me indeed.
My flesh and my heart fail, yet God is my strength forever.
The dust returns to the earth as it was, but the spirit returns to God who gave it.
And now we'll join together in Yoshe B'Seter. Yoshe B'Seter Elyon, B'Tzel Shaddai Yislonan, Omar. כי הוא יצילך מפח יקוש, מדבר הבוז. ברסו יצב לו, מסך צינה בסוחירה מיתו. אוי לא סירה מפחד לילה, מהחץ יעוף יומם. באופל יהלוך, מכתב שוט צהריים. יפול מצדך אלף, ורבבה מימינך, אליך לא ייגש. כי אתה אדוני מחסי עליון, שמת מעונך. כי מלאך יצב לך, להשמורך בכל דרכיך. אל שחר ופזן תדרוך, תרמוס כפיר וסנין. כי בי חשב וחלתהו, אסגבהו כי ידע שמי. יקראני בעיניהו, עמו אנוכי בצרה, אכלצהו ואכבדהו. אורך ימים אסביהו, וערהו ישועתי. אורך ימים אסביהו, וערהו בישועתי. So we'll gather ourselves and begin the Yizkor prayers. What we'll do is actually, although we've often now said the communal prayers last, beginning, we'll say them last today. And we'll start with the personal Yizkor prayers that follow. Take a few moments and gather our thoughts. First, the Yizkor for our Father. Yizkor Elohim Nishmas. Hay shehalach li'olamo bavur shebli neder etein tzedakah ba'ado Yishchar zeh tehei nafsho tzerura b'tzror hachayim im nishmas Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah V'im sha'ar tzadikim v'tzikanios b'gan Eden v'nomar Amen. Yizkor for one's mother. Yizkor Elohim Nishmas. Shehalacha li'olama bavur shebli neder etein tzedakah ba'ada Arzeh tehei nafshat tzrura b'tzror hachayim im nishmas Avraham Yitzchak v'Yakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Leah v'im sha'ar tzadikim v'tzikanios sheb'gan Eden v'nomar Amen. We're posting here the Yizkor for other relatives, and then following the Kelmali that you can recite personally. Leah sent a link in a chat that will allow you to kind of move at your own speed for the next 2 or 3 minutes to see the words of the Yizkor there. Give everyone another minute, and then we'll take Kelmali for the community. Mark, we're ready for the Malay for the community and the communal leaders. We have in mind all those whose names appear in our memorial books, on our memorial plaques, which still sit in our outside of our sanctuary, and those who have passed since those times. Those things were printed and prepared.
Shochein b'meromi, Amsei menucha nechona al kanfei hashechina, b'malot kedoshim u'teorim, kezohar ke'amazirim, v'nishmot Roshei Keilatenu, Ayibra Institute Bavai Plains, and Nishmot, Harav Shmuel David Ben Arav Eliezer, Rayato Chana Bat Aaron, Echazan Betzalel Ben Arav Meir Yehuda, Rayato Ahuv Ali Bamad Meir, David Ben Gershon, Rayato Rachel Yehudit Ben Meir, Arav Moshe Ben Yehuda, V'nishmat kol chavrei Beit HaKnesset hazot shalchu le'olamam, bavur שאנחנו מתפללים בהזכרת נשמותיהם, לכן בעל הרחמים יסתירם את סדר וגנבה לעולמים, ויצרור החיים את נשמותיהם. אדוני הוא נחלתם, בגן עדן מנוחתם. ותנוחו בשלום ובשכבם ונאמר אמן.
Continue with the Kelmale for those who've given their lives al Kiddush Hashem throughout the centuries.
Kelmale rachamim shochein b'meromi, Amsei menucha nechona kanfei hashechina, b'malot kedoshim u'teorim, kezohar ke'amazirim, v'nishmot hakedoshim shelachamu v'sheniflu b'chol ma'arachot Yisrael, b'machteret u'b'tzva hagana liYisrael, v'nishmot hakedoshim shenirtzachu b'rachmei eretz Yisrael al yedei machpelim, Shemasru nafsham kedushat Hashem ha'aretz, v'nishmot hakedoshim shenirtzachu al yedei hameratzchim ha'germanim ha'nazim yozreim mishar ha'amim yamach shemam v'nishpach damam Auschwitz, Majdanek, Treblinka, Mishar Machanot Ashmad be'Europa, Shenerku, v'nisrafu, v'nishchatu, v'nikberu, Chaim b'chol mitot meshunot ve'achzareyot, HaKedushat Hashem, v'nishmot acheinu, B'nei Yisrael, HaKedoshim et Ha'arim, Shemasru nafsham al Kedushat Hashem, Ba'avur she'anachnu b'neihem u'b'noteihem, acheihem yachyotehem, mitpalalim be'al azkarat nishmoteihem, V'chein Balarachamim Yashirem et Satan Egav Leolamim Yitzror Achayim and Nishmoteim Adonai Unachlatam Began Eden Menuchatam Yamnu Lagoralam Leketz Hayamim and Omar Amen.
Amen. May their memories and all the memories of those we have commemorated today be for a blessing. We're going to shift the focus from those who have passed to those who have been through difficult times and are here to give thanks to God for that. There are a number of people in the community who were ill with the coronavirus and have recovered, and we're going to be inviting them to recite the Birkat Hagomel in the presence of a large minyan. So most things that require minyan in presence. Birkat Hagomel can be recited just with the presence of people, even in this way. And so, Adina, if you could help us, we're going to start with the Growers. If you can see them, spotlight them and then unmute them. And then from there to the Gottlieb family, and then the Rosen family, and then my family. If there's anybody else who we're unaware of, or who have other illnesses that have been quite serious, then we invite you to raise your hand if you could, or send a quick chat message to Adina so she'll include you as well. Jane and Josh were the first in our community to have become ill this way. Thankfully, they're doing well. And so please, Bavakasha, first Jane and Josh. We'll respond with the words that are at the bottom of the screen. Amen. Mish malcha kol tov, huig malcha kol tov, Selah. To the Gottlieb family. Okay. Please.
Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel l'chayavim tovot shekmalani kol tov.
Amen. Malcha kol tov, huig malcha kol tov, Selah. The Rosens.
I don't see the Rosens unless they're renamed.
Okay. If the Rosens are on and are in a different name, or somehow this send a chat message to Adina.
Or just unmute yourself and I'll pick you up. Okay.
Okay.
We'll
Members of the Martyr family who are here. Some are not here in the room, but we have them in mind as well. And we'll recite these words too. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel chayavim tovot kol tov. Amen. Thank you all for your good wishes back to all of us, and we just hope that everyone else stays safe and healthy as we practice the right practices, even as we start to figure out how to reopen our shul or reopen some minyanim. We can keep everybody safe along the way. Adina is going to say a word or two to us just before we start our siyum. So the plan for the morning is a brief siyum of study, and then the Megillat root readings that will happen after. So Adina, please.
Hi, everyone. I just wanted to get excited for the Megillah part at the end. So if you are interested, just so I could work on the logistics for the next few moments, if you're interested in joining the women's tefillah, if you could rename your Zoom name with the letters WT, Women's Tefillah. So for example, if you look at my name right now, if you go to your name, you can click on rename, and I'm just going to do Adina Steinberg, WT. And then I know that when I make the groupings, I know that that person is interested in going to the Women's Tefillah. And anyone who doesn't have WT, I'll assume that they don't want to go to the Women's Tefillah, and I will put them in a different group. So I just want to, if you can just take the time now to rename. If you're not sure how to rename yourself, so if you're on a computer, if you just put your mouse on top of your name and you click on more, you'll have an option to rename. If you're on an iPad, if you click on participants and you go to your name, again, you'll have an option to rename. If you're not sure, then just chat me, I want to do women's tefillah, and I'll take care of it. So either rename yourself or chat me, I want to do women's tefillah. And I'll assume anyone who doesn't do women's tefillah is in the other room. Okay, without further ado, I'll go back to the rabbi to introduce the siyum.
Okay, and I feel bad because a few people just were texting me that they couldn't get into the Yizkor, and I think the Rosens actually are now on.
Okay,
so
yes.
If you could repost the Birkat Hagomel, we can participate with them.
So it's just to put their video's not on, so I can't do that for them. But okay.
Oh, Sarah too. Yes, Sarah Myers.
Let me put them up.
And the Cohens. Okay, we have a few more. I'm sorry to say. So we have the Cohen family, Eric Cohen's family is for Ella, and Sarah Myers, and then the Rosens. So we can do those three.
So I see Sarah Myers' video is on, and let me just unmute you. Sorry, you unmute yourself. I apologize.
Got it. I unmuted.
Got it.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel chayavim tovot shegemalani kol tov.
Amen. Mi shegemalech kol tov, shegemalech kol tov, Selah.
Amen.
Do we see there were the Rosens? Okay. Unmute yourself there. There you go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel chayavim tovot shegemalani kol tov.
Amen. Mi shegemalech kol tov, Selah. Okay.
And which cone?
It would be Eric Cohen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hagomel lechayavim tovot shegamlei kol tov.
Amen. Mi shegemalech kol tov, shegemalech kol tov, Selah. And everyone should just be well. All right, we're going to thank you everyone for participating in this part of our time together. We're going to be turning to a siyum. I'm going to hand it over to Michael Kelman, who was going to first help conclude the siyum of study that was done over Shavuot. And then lastly, my Gemara siyum for my wonderful class, which we'll use to make the final siyum in the Hadran.
Hi, everyone. If I can share my screen. Nope, I cannot. Can the host?
Make you a co-host. I'll make you a co-host.
Thank you. I just wanted to thank everyone who participated in the Nach learning that we did. So just so everyone is aware, there we go. So we undertook this year to learn some Tanakh over Shavuot. We decided, a little bit late, and so we decided not to go for the entire Tanakh, but we picked the books of Shmuel Aleph and Shmuel Bet and the 5 Megillot. And as you can see, a large number of people signed up, and in fact, we doubled up on a few of the books. And I'll speak for myself at least. We had a lovely time over Shavuot learning the chapters that we had taken on. So in order to celebrate the learning, I've asked a few people to just give a short Dvar Torah about what they learned, or either a Dvar Torah or a personal reflection about what they learned. And so if you'll indulge us, we're just going to try and find them all. So is David Lichtenstein on? I saw Rena was on. Adina, can you unmute?
Yeah, I'm looking.
This is David Lichtenstein. I just unmuted myself.
Perfect. Thank you. David, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, so I picked 1 Samuel 9 and 10, and that's the story of Saul and a servant going out in search of lost donkeys. And in the course of that, they not only find the donkeys, but they meet the prophet Samuel, and Saul gets anointed as the future king of Israel. And for helping me with this, I used a book originally written in 1981 by Robert Alter The Art of Biblical Narrative. Robert Alter was a professor, or still is a professor of comparative literature at Berkeley, where I went to school, and he then went on to publish a translation of the entire Hebrew Bible. And Alter illuminates this story as a type scene, something that they talk about in comparative literature. A type scene is a story that's repeated with different variations in a body of literature. And it may surprise you that the particular type scene that this is an instance of is the well-betrothal type scene. And the ones that came to mind immediately for me, somehow I wasn't thinking of Ruth, but are Elimelech and Rebecca, Jacob and Rachel, and Moses and Zipporah. And the pattern, sort of standard aspects of that are one of the protagonists is in an area that's foreign for them. There is some difficulty drawing water from a well. Some essential part of someone's character or some people's character is revealed. There is haste to bring news of this to the family. And then there's a betrothal and, of course, a meal. I'm going to read you a few of the verses. So here we go. They went on, this is Saul and his servant. They went on to the town in which the man of God was. They were just coming up the ascent to the town when they met some young women going out to draw water. And they said to them, "Is there a seer hereabouts?" And they answered them and said, "There is. Look, he is straight ahead of you. Hurry now, for today he has come to town, for the people have a sacrifice today on the high place. As soon as you come into town, you will find him before he goes up on the high place to eat." All right, so that's maybe you heard some of those components, but we have Saul in a foreign area, not quite a foreign area, but he's not in his own tribal land. There is a well mentioned, and a number of other things have not happened. So with respect to the things that haven't happened, I was reminded of another body of literature, which is the Sherlock Holmes story and the case of the dog in the night, where he talks about negative evidence. And in that story, Sherlock Holmes deduces the identity or an aspect of the identity of the perpetrator by something that didn't happen, which is that the dog that was present at the crime scene did not bark. And Sherlock concludes from that the perpetrator was known to the dog. So they call this negative evidence. So to just sort of to bring you to the punchline, I'm gonna, instead of using my own words, I'm gonna bring you direct quotes from Robert Alter. What we have in this verse, I would suggest, is the makings of a betrothal scene. A hero at the outset of his career in a foreign region, meeting girls who have come to draw water from a well. As an audience familiar with the convention, we might properly expect that he will draw water for the girls, that they will then run home with the news of the stranger's arrival, and so forth. Instead, this is what ensues. As I read before, they answer them saying, "There is straight ahead of you, hurry now, for he has come to town today, for today the people is offering a sacrifice on the ritual platform." The type scene has been aborted. The hero swings away from the girls at the well to hurry after the man of God who will launch him on his destiny of disaster. The sense of completion implicit in the betrothal of the hero is withheld from this protagonist. The deflection of the anticipated type scene somehow isolates Saul, sounds a faintly ominous note that begins to prepare us for the story of the king who loses his kingship, who will not be a conduit for the future rulers of Israel, and who ends up skewered on his own sword. So in conclusion, I think the message for us is, as you sort of go through literature and the world at large, and you see things that happen, you need, in addition to looking outward, you need to look inward as well and be sensitive to your own expectations and draw conclusions when those expectations are not met. That's it.
Oh, thank you. There we go.
Michael, should I just go? Okay. That was super impressive, David, because Michael asked us to speak for 5 minutes, and I think that was like 5 minutes on the nose. So very impressive. Okay, I read the next few prakim after David's prakim, and I've always been struck by Shmuel Aleph Perek Yud, when Shmuel very begrudgingly tells the people that he will anoint for them a king. Just listen for a second to the harshness of this language. V'atem hayom me'astem et Elohechem, asher hu moshia lachem mikol ra'otechem v'tzarotechem, v'tomru lo ki melech tasim aleinu. And you have this day rejected your God, who himself saved you from all your adversaries and your tribulations, and you have said to him, place a king over us. And then Shmuel anoints Shaul as their king, and they cheer and they say, Yechi HaMelech, long live the king. Why, if this was such a terrible idea and an outright rejection of God, did God and Shmuel sort of allow the people to have a king? And I think that the answer lies in what the Nevi'im and Tanakh in general are trying to teach us about leadership. I think some leaders that we've seen in Tanakh and elsewhere lead, and some leaders listen to the people. But the best leaders are the ones who both listen to the people and lead them in the right direction. So we can think of many, many examples. I'll just bring a few. We can think of Aaron, who listened to the people while Moshe was up at Har Sinai, and then this led to Chet HaEgel, the sin of the golden calf. We can look to Moshe, who led the people, but to the point of exhaustion, and only when he listened to the advice of those around him and got some help was he able to really lead and to listen more effectively. And we can look to history, and sorry, I always have to look to history. We can see more examples in recent history. So Woodrow Wilson, who was president during World War I, led the Americans and the Europeans after World War I at the Paris peace treaties with his 14 points, which he had laid out well before the end of the war. But according to many historical readings of Wilson and Versailles, he did not listen to feedback and was not willing to really modify any of his plans. And as a result of not listening, Congress did not ultimately ratify participation in the League of Nations, sort of dooming Wilson's signature plan. In contrast, Neville Chamberlain in the 1930s is accused in some readings by some historians of listening too much to public opinion in his appeasement of Hitler. Many historians argue that, the British public was not ready for another war, and rather than lead the people and explain to them the danger of Hitler, Neville Chamberlain sort of gave in to public opinion and did not lead in this moment when they really needed leadership the most. I want to just point to one more leader. President Lincoln was a leader who, in my opinion, both listened and led the American people. He listened to the radical abolitionists, he listened to the moderates, he even listened to the slave owners who lived in the border states during the Civil War. Through listening, he himself came to realize and understand that abolition was necessary, and he also gently led the people to recognize that this was the time to free the slaves. He listened and he led. Without listening, he would not have been able to lead, and he listened even when he did not necessarily agree with the people he was listening to. Which brings us back to the Navi. Okay, if we look at Shmuel, he did not simply lead and rebuke like we see with many Nevi'im, and he did not just listen without rebuking and leading. He did both. He listened to the people's pleas for a king, and he eventually gave them what they wanted. But as soon as he anoints Shaul, the Psukim tell us that he laid out the ground rules for kingship, right? He didn't just say, here's your king, go. He set out rules which would have hopefully lead the king in the right direction and the people in the right direction. And Shmuel listened and he led. So let's hope that we can all find mentors and teachers and maybe even politicians who could both listen and lead.
Great. Good morning, everyone. I did Shmuel Bet. In the beginning of Shmuel Bet, we read about multiple incidents in which people murder members of the household of the previous king, Shaul, in order to gain favor from King David, but David instead punishes them. We start off Shmuel Bet with David killing an Amaleki youth who had killed Shaul and had taken Shaul's crown to give to David. Then David curses his general and nephew, Yoav, who went ahead and murdered Shaul's general, Avner. And after that, Rechav and Ba'ana slay Ishbosheth, the son of Shaul, and are then killed by David. So after all these years in Shmuel Aleph of David's life and kingship being threatened by Beit Shaul, what causes David now to avenge them? There are many answers to this question, and I would like to talk about a few of them. Firstly, David wishes to unify all of Israel under his kingship, and he knows that Shaul was very popular among Shevet Benjamin, so to gain control of all of Israel, he needs to show that he supports Shaul and doesn't wish to destroy Shaul's legacy. Another thought is that David recognizes the importance of building off of other people's efforts. Shaul made many mistakes during his kingship, but at the same time, he was a good, popular king. David doesn't wish to just get rid of all that Shaul worked so hard to set up. Rather, he wants to build and improve Shaul's ideas and efforts. Another idea is related to the specific tribes the kings came from. Hundreds of years earlier, Yehuda and Benjamin gained a strong relationship with each other after Yehuda asked Yosef to take him as a prisoner instead of Benjamin in Parshat Vayigash. It is possible that David wishes to recreate the relationship between Yehuda, his tribe, and Benjamin, Shaul's, so he avenged any acts that would divide the tribes.
Wow. What a beautiful series of Divrei Torah that you've shared. And I hope that others who didn't necessarily make siyum this morning, share Divrei Torah of their learning. I'm muted? No, I'm not. Okay. That your learning over Shavuot was also robust, and your learning over the course of the year has been as well. I get a chance now just for a moment to complete our study of Masechet Megillah. Before I do so, I just want to give the proper shout out to my Chumash class on Monday nights. I'm not going to go through the list of people who are there learning with me every week, and on Thursday morning, the group that meets me then, Kol Kavod Lochem, for weekly learning. But today's focus is on the Gemara class, and the members of that class include Bernie Adler, Ezra Berkowitz, if he's up still, Arnie Cohen, there's the Berkowitzes, I don't know if Arnie's on, David Cohen, there's Arnie, Dave Cohen, who had a hard time getting onto the video this morning, even for the Yizkor. Steve Cove.
He's here, but no video.
Okay. Meira Orndlicher. Meira. Keith Reich. I don't know if Keith is on.
No.
And Mark Schwartz. So Kol Kavod, these are folks who make sure that as soon as we finish davening Shacharis on a weekday morning, we're there sitting down for 40 minutes of Talmud Torah and a bagel or a muffin and coffee. Over the past, I would say we did Megillah for almost 2 years. So it was a slow process, but really Kol Kavod. So here we go. We're just going to look at the last few lines of Megillah, and which deals with the following. Masechet, as you obviously understand, focuses a lot on Megillah Esther and practices of Purim. And then also shifts to discussion of the mitzvah of Kriyas HaTorah. The last chapter is especially the obligation to read Torah, all the rules around Torah reading. And then as a summation, you had the following teaching in the Gemara. The last line's on the right-hand side. By the Moshe Modeh Adonai al Bnei Yisrael, that verse in the Torah, what do we derive from that? That Moshe spoke about the assembly days of and appointed times to the children of Israel. Mitzvatan shehiyu korinotan kol echad ve'echad bizmano. That means that Moshe is instructed because of the placement that it be all read and taught at the same time. So in this case, it means reading it. If you look at Rashi for a moment on the left-hand side, by the Moshe Israel, Moshe tikein lehem Yisrael sheyushol midoshim yino shel yom hilchos pesach bepesach atzeres batzeres. Lama hutzrach lichtov kan by the Moshe. Why should the Torah put by Devrei Moshe at the end of the whole Torah reading, which we read yesterday? Didn't Moshe teach all of them? What does it mean to say at the end that Moshe spoke them? He made sure to teach those teachings, each one in their time. So back to the Gemara. Tana Rabbanan, our sages have taught, Moshe teken Yisrael sheyu sholim v'dorshim b'yano shel yom. They should always be sholim v'dorshim. Should go back and forth with halachos related to the season of the year and the and the festivals. Hilchos Pesach bePesach, the laws of Pesach on Pesach. We actually say 30 days beforehand. Hilchos Aseres Ba'atzeres, the laws of Shavuos around the Shavuot season. Hilchos Chag beChag, and the laws of the festival of Sukkot on Sukkot. Before we make the Hadran, we offer this prayer that Pesach and Shavuos, we were not able to be Shoel the Doresh to be going back and forth in person. We offer the prayer that when it comes to Sukkot, we'll be able to do all of that in person and share the festivals and the preparations for them all together. So we'll conclude with a Hadran. The Hadran is a prayer that we say that hopes that we can return to the holy text that we've had, how much we already desire to return to them. I've added on to the beginning of the traditional Hadran the additional words of the for siyum of Tanakh. Here we go. Hadran alach Shmuel Aleph or Shmuel Bet v'chamesh Megilot. Shkorach to all of you. Datan alach v'datan alan. Shmuel Aleph v'Shmuel Bet v'chamesh Megilot. Alon nitnashem minach. We're not going to forget you. But here, God shows our sages and our prophets. שבזכות ספרי שמואל א' ושמואל ב' וחמש מגילות ממקראי קודש, בזכות פסוקיהם ותיבותיהם ואותיותיהם ודבריהם וטעמיהם ושמות הקדושים היוצאים מהם, ובזכות נביאי האמת שופטי ישראל וצדיקי הדורות המוזכרים בספרי התנ"ך, נזכה להיות נועם אדוני אלוהינו עלינו, מעשה ידינו כוננה עלינו, ומעשה ידינו כוננהו. And now the Hadran for Masechet Megillah, all of us in our class, and we hope others will join us for Baba Metzia this coming Tuesday. Hadran alach Masechet Megillah, Hadran alach, Hadran alach, Masechet Megillah, Hadran alach. Lo nisna sheminach Masechet Megillah, nisna sheminan laba alma hadim laba alma da'asi. You hear some of the Hadran. So we hope and we pray that the Torah should be our endeavor in this world. Ada bar Papa, Dar bar Papa, all those Papa children who learn Torah. Make this Torah sweet. Your words, God, they give us life. Amen, amen, amen. God, thank you for giving us a portion to be sitting and studying Torah, not like those who would not use their time well. We offer this prayer. May me be your will, God. Kishem shezar tanu l'sayem maseches Megillah. Just as you helped us complete this maseches. Kain tazrinu l'hatchila hamiseftos asfar machem l'sayemam l'model l'men lishmor l'sos l'kayemes kodivrei tzamut taratach b'ava u'zuchus kol tanem v'amram l'talmidei chachamim yamod lanu zarenu shalot tamu shar Torah mipinu pizarenu mizarenu ayad olam mikayem banu b'sachach tancha osach b'shach b'chat tishmor alecha b'kitos hisisecha kibu kibu yamecha b'tzibcha shel tzayim. We would usually recite a long Kaddish, but I'll recite just a brief Kaddish replacement that we've been saying in our daily tefillah. Al hakol yiskadal yiskadash v'yishtabach v'yispar v'yisramam v'yisnasei shemo shel melech malchei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Ba'olam Moshe bara ha'olam hazeh ha'olam haba kiritzono v'kiritzon yirayah v'kiritzon kol beis Yisrael. Ose shalom bimramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. L'shkayach everybody. Mazel tov.
Samchem b'rinyach shalem, samchem b'rinyach shalem.
Yesher koach to everyone. Keep learning Torah. Join us for all our learning. Monday night, we're starting Korach. Tuesday morning, we're starting Baba Metzia. We hope you'll join us for these classes. Now to Megillat Ruth.
Okay, everyone, I'm going to break out the rooms. If for any reason you're not in the room you want to be in, then click in leave meeting. Don't click leave meeting. Click leave room, I apologize. And I'll be waiting here to help put you in the right room if you were in place.
Hi, Dina.
Miriam, do you want to be in women's tefillah or regular? I'll just put her in women's tefillah. Rena, are you in? I put you in a room. You didn't go?
I was in regular. I want to go to women's.
Oh, well, that was a silly mistake.
Thanks, Adina.
Okay, hold on. Let me move you to one. Got it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Am I supposed to automatically go?
Yeah, it should have automatically taken you. It didn't?
No.
I moved it. Let's try. Hold on, let me X this 1 second. Samche. Okay, move to. That's weird. It says you're in the women's tefillah room.
That's strange.
Hold on. I'm gonna move you back and forth. Let's see what happens. Move to 2, and now move to 1. Nothing came up on your screen?
Nope.
So weird.
I can leave and come back. Should I do that?
Yeah, is that okay? I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem.